Hi, and welcome to this edition of the Insurance Experts. It's my pleasure to have on the line David West. David's been in the insurance industry for many years and has a particularly interesting strategy to share with us today. So thanks for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me today, Mark. I appreciate it.
Okay, so David, tell me a little bit about how you first got into the insurance business and how you ended up in this space where you're working with qualified plans.
Okay, so originally I always knew I wanted to be in the financial world. Long story short, my buddy asked me to go to a networking event, met the CEO of an insurance practice, took the interview, asked him, hey, I saw a lot of nice cars and suits here. Do I have to shave my beard? That was my icebreaker. And the guy said, no. I was like, all right, that's cool. The rest is history.
Very cool. And so it sounds like you started off in the insurance industry learning the fundamentals of the trade, so to speak. How did you end up getting into this area with qualified plan strategies?
Starting with the individual marketplace, it was more of a protection first strategy, implementing insurance for needs analysis and things. And the more and more successful I became, the more affluent the client became. So they needed higher level strategies, I would say, which led me into this marketplace of talking tax first and then, putting on your financial hat by the end of the day.
Very cool. So tell us a little bit about this strategy that you put together and you specialize in.
Okay. So we're becoming known for really the implementation and customization of qualified plans as a tax structure for the self-employed marketplace.
Okay, so let's talk about the jargon there, right? So first
Yes.
of all, what does a qualified plan exactly mean?
Qualified plan is something that has guidelines by ERISA, right? It's a qualified plan. I'll talk about something that everyone usually knows about is a 401k, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's part of a defined contribution plan. Exactly what it sounds like. The contribution is defined. Before age 50 right now, you can put in 19,000, and the catch-up provision, you can put up to 25,000 in the profit sharing formula. That's a defined contribution plan. It can grow to whatever you want. Your advisor should pick the best funds and get you the best rates of return that the markets will allow. On the other side, there's the defined benefit plan. Absolutely different than the defined contribution plan. In its own definition, the benefit is defined. Right now, actuarially, we're funding for almost a $3 million lump sum at its target age of retirement. So you can only put in X to get to that point in time at an assumed rate of return known as a segment rate, deemed by the actuaries now at about 5.5%.
Very cool. And so a defined benefit is like a pension plan that people have heard of. Defined
Precisely.
contribution, like you said, like a 401k. And you have a unique strategy which actually combines them together. It's like a combo strategy. So tell us a little bit about how these get combined together.
Yeah, so combining both structures together and cross-testing them against each other to get the most leverage out of it makes it a lot more advantageous for the business owner to put away a lot of money and keep it for themselves. We always say that they want to have the lion's share of this plan. Rather than more of an employee benefit mentality, we always want to make sure the employees are taken care of. This is not gray area. This is black and white of IRS Section Code 400 in the tax book. But we're applying coverage rules and limits with a couple of quirks to allow the business owners to put away a lot of money and keep the most for themselves while still keeping the employees happy.
Gotcha. And you said this is for self-employed. So this tends to be for smaller, closely held businesses that are trying to take a tax deduction and create with this retirement plan for themselves and for their employees.
Yes. So I'll say from a demographic standpoint, the one 1099 contractor that needs a big deduction, we can do it as a one-person plan. It's the same strategy. All the rules apply, whether it's one person or 100 people.
Okay, so you said it could be for a small business of one all the way up to 100. So question I have is, who are kind of the prototypical clients for you?
I think giving an example would make it easiest for somebody to understand. Prototypical is really, it doesn't matter what industry, as long as they're profitable, susceptible to tax, they're paying those quarterlies, and it hurts, and they want one or two of them back, right?
Okay.
So the example I'll give right now, I'll use it because coincidentally enough, it was somebody in our industry who didn't understand or know the limits of having this strategy in place. It's a wealth management practice. They were at a broker dealer. They had a deferred comp plan, which means they're putting money away on a deductible basis, but left and started their own business, a registered investment advisory. And now they needed a large deduction as the business owner. So we were able to go in, soak up a lot of tax. It was 2 owners with 8 employees. That we were taking care of. Those were their wishes. It was the max deduction. They were very profitable. They were in their mid 50s. I showed a $337,500 deduction for both owners, which equated to about $680,000 of a deferral And on the entire business, it only cost them $708,000. So they were representing 95.8% of the total deduction in a properly designed combo plan.
And that's cool because I know a lot of people out there in the audience, they have wealth management firms. They're looking to partner with you, but oftentimes the best way to learn a strategy, especially if it's a very cost-effective strategy anyway, is to do it for yourself first. So that might be, obviously, probably your first clients are always your partners who you're working with.
He's our biggest advocate. He has it before and after he could have done this on what he got back in tax. It was kind of crazy. And to provide even more tax savings, I'll say, those two gentlemen are now in their second year of funding. They're adding their wives to the payroll to have the old deferred comp plan fund their new pensions for their wives on the combo plan. So having this structure open allows for buyouts, absorption of deferral money that can come into the plan, and acts as a sponge or a tool to really soak up tax exposure, whether it's on an income basis every year or, like I said, on a buyout scenario from a lump sum.
Okay, and I know you said there's one more wrinkle that you can do to this. You have the defined contribution plan, you have the defined benefit plan, and you can also incorporate life insurance into this strategy. How does life insurance fit in?
Life insurance in our situation is the right thing to do for four main reasons. One, the moral reason. You're funding for a defined benefit of $3 million. That's what your family and you are going to get on the back end. So we are always writing between $2.5 and $3.5 million of permanent pension trust insurance with a mutual company inside the plan to guarantee that that payout happens, whether it's the worst day of someone's life and they're no longer with us, or they fund the entire thing. That's the first reason. The moral reasons, I'm going to go very quick. The second reason, actuaries assume a segment rate, which is a future rate of return. Using a permanent contract that has a guaranteed floor allows the actuary to see time in the future, and they love that. So they say, hey, you know what? For that reason, I'm going to get to that point in time slower. I need more money. More money means larger contribution, which means larger deduction. Also, pension got a black eye for overfunding and underfunding previously. The minimum maximum swing is always larger when there's life insurance contract in place because there's a floor of a rate of return guaranteed in that. So that example could be 50, 60% more on a minimum or maximum swing for the business. And the other part is just for real estate planning. Use the cheap money that Uncle Sam paid for to stretch out an IRA and pay off the estate tax. Sometimes it covers some of it, sometimes it covers none of it, but that's all right. And in the example I gave, I want to add, we wrote $3.5 million of pension trust insurance inside the defined benefit plan for the two owners, and we also wrote a couple $1 million of after tax.
Very cool. So there's a moral reason to do it, there's a tax economic reason to do it, and then it adds to the flexibility of the plan itself. So that's really cool, adding life insurance to this. So I mean, obviously this is a really advanced area, but there's opportunities out there that people just don't even know about. So thanks for joining us and sharing your secrets here, so to speak, and we hope to have you on future episodes.
I appreciate it. Thank you so much for your time, and everybody have a good day.